Hey everyone, welcome back to my implementation of the Equal Stacks challenge on HackerRank. So just a quick recap of what I've done so far. I read in the size of the stacks here, and I created my decks. Like I said, I'm not using stacks because based on what the Oracle documentation says, so I'm using a deck, and then I'm using the array deck class. So I create my three decks here. And pretty much the problem is we need to know the sum of the values in each deck. So we have to track those. So we have three variables here. And just some code down here. We're just filling in each deck. So nothing too complicated there. And before, as a sanity check, we're going to check the sum of the values in the deck. And what I want to do, so I don't take time doing this later, so outside the while loop, is this the, make sure. Okay, we're just going to check the values after. Value of deck number one, value of deck number one before, before, after. Now these should all be the same, but again, print statements is just, how we're checking our work. We don't need this new line here. And that's getting rid of the scanner class. Okay, so what this line up here is saying, this is the meat of the program, which we're going to be doing here. Essentially what this saying is we're going to pop off, well, we're going to be in this loop until none of the sizes are equal. Once all the sizes are equal, then this is not going to execute anymore. So our first bit of logic is this if statement here. So let's assume we keep popping off elements of the queue and there's 0. So there's nothing else to pop off. So we're going to break out the loop here, and then these print lines are going to execute down here. So that's essentially where we're at. Now let's just talk about the first deck. So we're going to do some logic. So else if. So what we need to do is so we're going to just look at the first deck. Now, we need to see if the values in that deck, if they're greater than or equal to the other two sums. So essentially we're going to look at sum of stack 1. Is that greater than and equal to, I'm sorry, the sum of stack 2. And we need to check if that same sum of stack 1, if that's greater than or equal to the sum of stack 3. If those two conditions are met, we need to do two things. We need to decrement the sum of stack 1. We need to decrement that, and we're going to do that by the value that's at the very top. Because if you go back to the problem, let's go back to the problem really quickly. Here, we're removing this value here, and we'll also, so now that we removed it, we need to remove 3 from the sum, the value. So we need to remove it from the deck, and we also need to remove its sum. So if I go back here, so these two conditions need to be true. So if they are, we're going to say remove the amount from the sum. So we'll do sum of stack 1, decrement that by the value that's at the very top. Now, this line here, so we'll do S1 dot peak. So again, what the peak does, it just shows you what's at the very top. When we do dot remove or dot pop, that's what that removes something from the stack. But we're just saying, okay, whatever's at the very top, wherever that integer is, decrement it from the sum here. Now we're actually going to remove that. Remove from the deck. So do S1 dot pop. So it actually removes it. And just for, I don't know how many times this is going to I want to do one more thing, just as a sanity check. Int counter. I want to see how many times this loop is going to execute. How many times some a value was popped off. So we'll do that. We'll just increment counter by 1. Okay. So that logic is the sum of stack 1 is greater than the other two sums. So we're going to decrement decrement what's in the sum by what's at the top of the deck, and then we're going to remove that item. So that same sort of logic is going to apply for the other two. So we'll do else if sum of stack 2 that's greater than, greater than equal to sum of stack 1 and sum of stack 2 is greater than and equal to sum of stack 3. So again, I'm not going to put the comments in because it's the same thing. Sum of stack 2, decrement that by what's at the top of the second deck. We'll pop that value off, and let's increase our counter by 1. And yep, that seems right. And then lastly, let's do that for the third deck. Sorry. Else if sum of stack 3 is greater than, keep doing that, greater than or equal to sum of stack 1 and is greater than or equal to sum of stack 2. Let's decrement the sum by what's at the top. Let's pop off that value. And let's increase our counter by 1. Okay, so I think that's it. That seems logical to me of what we need to do. So let's run it. And then we have our print statement up here. So let's Control S this. So I have to do a split screen for a second because I need to see what the input data is. So we're going to do this, and we'll do that. So remember, these are the sizes, but we're reading in the data from right to left. So let's run it and see what happens. Still running, still running. Hopefully it compiles. And that looks, well, I don't know. I don't see any text yet. Okay, so first one is 5. Second one is 3. Last one is 4. So remember, we're reading from right to left. So we're going to do 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, 1, 1. Okay, so the value, I probably should have did better better print statements. Let me go back here. Type in the value you want to add to deck number 1. That would have made it more clear. Deck number 2 and deck number 3. That would have been that. And let's just, I don't want to confuse people with the terminology who are learning like myself. Just change that. Okay, so what we did was we read in all our values here. Value of deck number 1 is 8. So we do 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. The sum of the second one is 2, 5, 9. The third one is 1, 5, 6, 7. So we get that there. So we iterate until they're all the same. So it's 5. What I didn't do, this is a quick. I want to see how many times this runs. The number of times a number was popped off of a deck. UE. Just do this. UE was. We'll do counter. So we're just going to run this one more time, and then that should be the end of the video. I have to keep it split because I don't have this written down of what this is. So I apologize if it's hard to see. So we'll do 5, 3, 4, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. We'll do 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, 1, 1. So the number of times a number was popped off of a deck was 4. So that's how many times we removed an item. Okay. So let me just show you where to find this information. We'll go back to here. So if you go to my GitHub account, go to HackerRank, data structures, stacks, equal stacks. So that's all the information there if you guys want to look at it. But I think that's it. I'm going to post another video probably later today. But I appreciate you guys checking in. Have a good day.